Nice. Well, as you can see from the drive up, it is very wet but snowy, and we are starting that summit pass on Mount Hood, heading up the Alpine Trail with the first split of the season and quite possibly the last split on the DIY split. Got a new setup for this year, but since this is pre-season, I figured I'd take the old cheese grater base out for a last hurrah. So it's very wet, probably going to be plenty of clumping and sticking snow to my skins, but there's snow on the ground, so we're gonna ride it. First snow of the season, October 26th, 2022. Let's do it. Route finding already proving to be a bit tough. There's rocks on the usual trail, so we've found ourselves at our first little crux about 5 minutes in. Big old steep section. That was sketchy. Fun though. Alright, I gotta cross back over these rocks. Usually you can cross over those rocks and there's a trail that cuts up here, but now I'm in someone's backyard, so I gotta get back over to the ski area boundary. Getting some tightness in the left boot. Loosen it up, see if that helps. Whew. It is already super warm. I'm sweating. I think it's like 30 something degrees. The ground actually isn't too clumpy on the skins. It's definitely wet. I mean, I just picked that up. But honestly, better conditions than I was expecting sitting in the parking lot. The wind and the snow died down a little bit, so it's a lot more pleasant. And yeah, shedding some layers, keep on heading up. Oh yeah, I forgot to introduce like one of the main conflicts of the video, which is the ski area that I'm skinning up in. Had a notice on their website that all uphill traffic and skiing and snowboarding inbounds is closed. And this route that I'm on didn't used to be inbounds, but they just bought a resort at the bottom of the mountain, and so now their ski area boundary includes all that I'm splitting on. So hopefully nobody sees me. So I'm kind of trying to stay off trail, but the bottom of part of the resort is right down there where I started in the parking lot. So I kind of snuck off, but yeah, hopefully nobody cares. Hopefully they understand that we're all just trying to get out here and enjoy the beautiful mountain. But yeah, anyway, let's enjoy it. Let's keep on heading up. We made it to the main uphill route that I couldn't find down below. It is completely untouched, so I'm breaking my own trail. But man, is it gorgeous. Check that out. Just untouched, perfect guiding path through the snowy forest. Does it get much better? One of the last vestiges of fall. All right, y'all, we got a long ways to go, so I think I'm gonna put the camera down. I think I'm just gonna take it slow, enjoy the peace and the quiet that I haven't seen in a whole season. So if I see something extra beautiful, I'll key you guys in, but let's hit it. made it like 4 more minutes since my last check-in. The left boot's not doing well. My foot's cramped up, but it's also moving a little bit in there, so I don't know if it's too tight or too loose. It's starting to get sweaty, a little blistery. Just gonna let that rest a minute while I get some water. You can see the trees swaying with all the weight of the snow on them. Looks like I forgot to fill up my water at the car after drinking what I drank on my ride over. So that's fun. About 16 ounces. And it is only, we've been a half a mile. It's 11:20. So we're about 45 minutes in. And we got 16 ounces of water. Whoops. We got a blowout. Somehow, my pin came undone. And it doesn't want to go back in. Or come out. Something's not right. There's just absolutely zero play. Can't get it out, can't get it in. Whew. Okay, we got the pin out. Time for an inspection. Okay, so right ski, left ski. Binding that doesn't have any issues. Those flanges, if we look down the barrel, is stick straight up at a little bit of an angle, but you can tell it's a prescribed angle. This binding, this little flange has got a little torque to it. That guy's good. So I think what happened was pin came out. I was dragging it along. I didn't notice for a couple of steps. Torqued that little flange out, and then the pin got jammed in there. But I brought my multi-tool, so I'll try and bend it back, see if we can't get it to work good, and we'll keep on checking on if possible, because that would suck to end this early. And we're off. Now, I'm sure some of you guys might be worried about the integrity of my board. The ski binding kind of just broke, bent it back into place. I'm still heading out to the backcountry. In the sake of transparency, I want to let you know that there was more decision making that went on behind the scenes. If it was my pin that I showed you guys that was actually bent and compromised structurally, I would have had to turn around, because that's what holds the board together on the ride home. And I'm not super worried about it, because if at any point the climbing binding breaks and the pin is still good, I can just slap my two board halves together and ride down and ride out to my car. So a little bit of insight into the backcountry decision making that went on there. And yeah, stoked it wasn't a deal breaker. So let's keep on going. All right, we made it to the first checkpoint, top of Summit Chairlift Government Camp, Mount Hood, Oregon. Those are the first tracks I've seen all day. They didn't come up the same way I did. They might have just had two cars parked, one at Timberline, and rode the Alpine Trail down. Looks like two sets of tracks. Doesn't look like an uphill track. We are headed that ways. Once we clear this little checkpoint, we should have a relatively clear shot, uninterrupted by anybody that's patrolling their inbounds regulations. This is approaching the trail that connects the two main resorts that they just purchased. This one that I'm in right now, this trail right here, used to be out of bounds, now it's inbounds. So, but it's pretty well protected. I don't think there'll be a ton of people out here. So hopefully we're in the clear for a little while. Well, it happened again. My left binding pin came out of the climbing binding. Stick it back in, try and get a little bit more out of it. Seems to be working for now. Made it to our next little checkpoint. This is kind of the base of a pretty steep section. So I just was on pretty long, gentle uphill. Now we start really going uphill. I think the goal is to at least get up this steep section, which I've actually been on in a video. Stop for lunch in the same spot, I think. And then we'll decide we're gonna keep going up to Timberline proper. One of the reasons to buy a shell and get a good underlayer insulation system dialed if you're gonna be in the backcountry. Nice big vents on it, because sometimes you need the waterproofing and not the insulation. So this does not feel like preseason. This feels like middle of winter, but I definitely got to be careful of rocks on the way down and trees. I'm stepping on a ton of them, so I'll probably stick to well-trodden paths. There's a couple of tracks coming down this trail, so I'll probably just stay in the groove and get out safe. But first we got to get up there. Let's keep going. Whew, nice. Found a nice little spot protected from the weather. Gone a good ways, sweat a bunch, so I'm gonna pop the skis off, have some water, maybe a little snack. We'll keep on trucking. About 12 ounces left. Should get us there. I don't think that shot worked. This is kind of a sketchy section. There's just this skinny chute, which I'm guessing was like a river or a little stream just a few weeks ago. And there's kind of only one way down, so if someone's coming down, I'll have to scramble up the banks of this thing. So hopefully nobody comes down right now. Let's try and get through this quick. All right, I found a spot to cut out. It's gonna be more trail breaking, but that skinny chute just keeps on going and I can't see over the hill if anybody's coming down it, and feels sketchy. I also want to scope out this other area because that's very skinny. I don't particularly want to ride down that, so if I can scope out a hopefully minimal rock and tree area on this other side of the trail, that would be more ideal for coming down. So I literally took one step and already found a gnarly hazard. Just a thick old little tree trunk sticking up. So we'll try and pack some snow over this to help the next person out. Climbing wires going up. Nice. My new setup includes a pair of Spark Surge Pro bindings, and I cannot wait to test those guys out for the first time. I actually went over to their factory over the winter last winter. I lost all the footage because my SD card got corrupted, but I went over there. I was talking to Will, the owner at Spark, about potential job opportunities. They were willing to give me an internship for the summer, but some of my priorities shifted around and I decided to stay close to home last summer. But great people out at Spark. I worked on their production floor for a couple days while I was out there kind of job shadowing. So I got to build some bindings, and it's a good product. So I can't wait to finally get on some. I did get to demo some arcs when I was out there. They gave me a demo board. One of the locals took me out for a little split, and that was the video that I lost, unfortunately. So I didn't get to post that. But it was actually Chad from Dark Start's splitboarding podcast. May he rest in peace. Died tragically last season. He's very young. Super bummer. But he and I weren't really close, but we would talk on social media, talk on the phone every once in a while. Helped him out with some business marketing ideas, whatnot. And he actually connected me with the Spark team, sent over a good word with Will, who he knew. And then tangentially to that, I was also connecting with Ethan, who I didn't know it at the time. He's one of the senior engineers over at Spark. And so it was kind of just this serendipitous chain of events where I got in contact, got some good recommendations from friends in the industry. And yeah, it was an awesome opportunity. I super appreciate those guys for hosting me for the week. And my mom, who actually amended her Park City vacation and decided to come to Bozeman and put me up in their hotel, and made that all happen last season. So that was an awesome adventure. I wish I still had the footage, but it lives on in my heart and now in the story in this video. All right, we've been about 2 miles at this point, probably about 1,500 feet elevation. And I'm beginning to ask myself, why do I invest so much money into this activity? My back hurts, I'm getting blisters, it's snowy, I'm wet. And I think I'll circle back and answer my own question once I get down to the car, because I'm sure by that point I'll be stoking. Well guys, we did it. We made it to the bottom of Timberline Resort area where it splits off to the Alpine Trail. About 3 miles of hiking, probably about 1,800, 2,000 feet elevation. Not a huge day, did it about 3 hours. But man, am I gassed. I'm gonna sit down, have another little snack. There's a nice stump here for a good break, and then we'll evaluate if we're gonna keep on keeping on. The snow just keeps getting better the higher up we come, and so it's enticing to keep going. But it's also kind of eerie up here. Obviously the trails aren't groomed. I've seen 2 people coming down the trail, and that was about an hour and a half ago. And so there's nobody around. I'm setting the only uphill tracks, and so it's a little bit unsettling just being alone out here. Definitely not the smartest decision to ever come out in the backcountry alone, but I like to push myself. I'll exercise caution at every turn. I got communication devices to call for help if I need, and sometimes this is just necessary to get out on your own and just be with your thoughts, process whatever you process, and learn to enjoy time alone, and learn to be comfortable with your skills, and trust yourself, build confidence in yourself and your abilities. All right, y'all, I got cold while eating lunch, so I ended up putting my layers on, and then I got snow in my boot, so I ended up taking it off. And when I put it back on, I was like, I might as well lace it up tight. Then I just did the other one, and so I kind of just, without my knowing it, just started getting ready for the ride down. I'd rather not take my layers back off and get sweaty again. So I think we're gonna call it on the uphill for this trip. I transitioned the board already on the time lapse, all good to go. And yeah, let's enjoy the ride down. We are right at the part where Timberline Resort veers off into the Alpine Trail, and so it's about 2.5 miles to the top of the resort at the bottom, and then another quarter mile down to the car. We probably have got about 2,000 feet of vert to go, and yeah, let's strap in. Whew. That's why they call that Cascade Cement. Oh, Uh-oh. I made it to about the top of the steep part, so we're at the top of kind of the crux of this ride, which is that chute that I showed you guys on the way up. That's not even a board's width wide, and it's pretty steep. Goes for a good long while. So hopefully see if we can't make it through this in one piece. I'm also not sure what the best angle is with this camera still, so trying out a bunch of different ones. Sorry if you don't like a couple of ones that I use, but I'm working on it. You gotta practice to make perfect. Like I thought, super sketchy. Almost died there. Okay, I got a straight section coming up, so I kind of got to pin it through this. See how it goes. Nice. That was fun. All right, gotta use the pole. So, pretty slow run out. Nice and flat. The cheese, Swiss cheese base doesn't help. Oh, can we make it? Nice. Nice. That was a great run though. We made it through the crux. Fell once, lost control once. All in all, not terrible. And the mountain is showing off. It is sunny and gorgeous. I mean, come on. Nice. Well, that was awesome. Still up for debate, my question from earlier, whether it's worth it, because those conditions and my muscles were not happy on that run. But I did thoroughly enjoy it. Feels good to earn your turns, and yeah, this is a good baseline. I wanted to kind of do one last run with this DIY board. One, because preseason I was definitely gonna ding it up, which I did. Kind of just have this baseline experience so that when I get on my new factory split, I can compare and contrast, and then make a video and let you guys know the pros and the cons. So I think that'll do it for today's video. I'm gonna go back to my car, get some water, because I have some water in my car, and yeah, thanks for joining me. I'll see you in the next one. I need to get better at those kick turns. Okay, I don't know. My skis got flipped around. That probably wasn't clear. Let's start over.